Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the... Metabolites to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin, members of the University Committee. The 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th Inaugural Lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. On Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Second. Is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, under the distinguished chairmanship of Professor Olugbenga Ige, Vice Chancellor, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. Venue is the University Multipurpose Hall. Time is 2 p.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 1:30 p.m. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited. Please join us. Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria, and Professor Adebisi Olonisakin cordially invite the general public to the 57th inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy: Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites, to be delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin on Tuesday, March 24.
Hello, please, may I implore us to just try and settle down. The vessel is already at the premises. You'll be joining us in the next few minutes. Please, let's find a place to sit. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, the Vice Chancellor procession is very close to the hall, and I would like to implore you all that as soon as the Vice Chancellor procession enters into this hall, let us remain standing and we take the two anthems and the program will commence. Please, shall we all rise? shall we take the national anthem and AAUA anthem? Thank you very much. Let's have our seats. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You are warmly welcome to the 57th inaugural lecture at the university. To our university, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, you are warmly welcome to Adebisi University. Today's lecture is titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites. The lecture is going to be delivered by a professor of organic chemistry. He is the fifth from the Department of Chemical Sciences. And the 14th from the Faculty of Science. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for Professor Adebisi Olonisakin? I'm sure Prof is calm now. Yes, he was a little bit apprehensive because of the lateness of the program. Prof, I'm sure you are calm. Distinguished principal officers, deans, professors, directors, HODs and HOUs, staff and students of this great university, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are once again welcome to the 57th inaugural lecture of their university. It is my honor at this juncture to invite to the microphone here the chairman of this occasion and our Vice Chancellor, Professor Olonisakin Ike, as he presents the 57th inaugural lecturer. Mr. Adebisi, sir.
Thank you very much, the Boys Brigade, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Registrar, the representative of the BOSA, the University Librarian, distinguished professors and deans of faculties, the inaugural lecturer, Professor Olonisakin, Adebisis and High Chiefs here present, members of the immediate family of the inaugural lecturer, our distinguished guests, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all apologize for starting this program very late and behind schedule. There are several functions occurring almost at the same time on our campus today. Today is the International Women's Day. And we had in our campus the Vice Chancellor of University of Medical Sciences, who came here to deliver the keynote address as the guest speaker, International Women's Day. We had to be there. Immediately after that, we were also conducting interview for the next set of professors, who will also one day deliver an inaugural lecture like Professor Olonisakin. And we were rushing to make sure that the interview ended by 2 p.m. But it wasn't possible until about 2:30. So please, we apologize. It is not in the nature of our university to start any programs very late or behind schedule. I hope you will take our apology. It is my singular honor to welcome you all, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the 57th inaugural lecture of our great university. This occasion represents the pinnacle of our academic tradition, the moment when a scholar, having devoted decades to research and teaching, shares the fruit of a life's work with the university community and the general public. The inaugural lecture series holds a special place in the life of any university. Today, we gather to honor a distinguished professor whose scholarship sits at the intersection of tradition and science, of nature and of human well-being. Professor Adebisi Olonisakin is no stranger to many of us. Over the years, he has earned a reputation as a meticulous researcher, a passionate teacher, and a dedicated mentor to a generation of young scientists. His academic journey has been defined by curiosity, the kind of curiosity that asks not only how nature works, but how we can harness its wisdom to solve real-world problems. It is that very curiosity that brings us to this chosen topic, nature's pharmacy, unlocking the secrets of plant secondary metabolites. In an age where synthetic drugs dominate the pharmaceutical landscape, Professor Olonisakin's work reminds us that nature remains humanity's oldest and most sophisticated chemist. Plant secondary metabolites, alkaloids, flavonoids, terpenes, phenolics are the silent languages through which plants defend themselves, communicate, and adapt. For centuries, traditional healers have tapped into these compounds, often without understanding the science beneath it. Today, through rigorous research, Professor Olonisakin has helped illuminate that science, validating indigenous knowledge and opening new frontiers for drug discovery, agriculture, and human health. Professor Olonisakin's academic journey began with a Bachelor of Technology degree and from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, in 1990. He obtained a Master of Science degree in Organic Chemistry in 1999 from the University of Ibadan and completed his PhD in Organic Chemistry at the Federal University of Technology in 2007. Joined the staff of Adebisi University in 2011 as a senior lecturer in the Department of Chemical Sciences and has since progressed through the ranks, becoming a professor in 2018. His administrative competence has been demonstrated through various capacities in which he has served this institution. These include acting head of the Department of Chemical Sciences, sub-dean of the Postgraduate School, director of the General Studies Unit, acting director of the Center for Diploma and Pre-Degree Studies, and chairman of the Student Union Election Committee, the Technical Committee on Admissions, and the Internal Assessment and Evaluation Committee, among others. I must say that as chairman of the Technical Committee on Admissions, Professor Olonisakin has demonstrated integrity and competence. A prolific academic, he has authored 61 published research articles, with 3 others awaiting review. He has also attended and presented papers at 21 conferences, both locally and internationally. Professor Olonisakin's work experience outside Adebisi University includes serving as external examiners for MSc and PhD and undergraduate programs in the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Sciences at several Nigerian universities. This includes Federal University of Technology, Akure, Shivas University, Owo, Nasarawa State University, Kefi, Bowen University, Iwo, University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, and several others. Has also served as an external assessor for reader and professor positions in many Nigerian universities and as a reviewer for both national and international scientific journals. Testament to his academic distinction, Idon has received several grants and postdoctoral fellowships. This include AAUA Research Grant 2012, 2013, 2024, 2025, the TED Research Grant 2018, 2019, the NSUK ETF Research Grant 2010, 2011, and a fellowship from the Third World Academy of Science, Italy, hosted by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research India, 2013-2014. He also participated in the Pan-African Chemistry Network Congress in Africa, Ghana, and sponsored by the Royal Society of Chemistry, Cambridge, in 2017. Professor Olonisakin is a member of several professional bodies, including the Science Association of Nigeria, the Chemical Society of Nigeria, the Institute of Chartered Chemists of Nigeria, the Society for Essential Oil Distillers and Analysts of Nigeria, and the Royal Society of Chemistry. On behalf of the entire university community, I extend our heartfelt congratulations to you, Professor Adebisi Olonisakin, for reaching this milestone. You have not only added to the sum of human knowledge, but have done so with integrity, with dedication, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. We are proud to count you among our finest academics. Listen to this afternoon's lecture. Encourage us all to embrace the spirit of inquiry that it represents. Let us be reminded that the most profound discoveries often lie in the places we least expect, in the roots, in the leaves, and backs of plants that surround us. Let us also celebrate the scholar who has dedicated his career to unlocking those secrets for the benefit of humanity. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for gracing this occasion. Now have the distinct honor of inviting Professor Adebisi Olonisakin to deliver the 57th inaugural lecture of our great university titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites. Welcoming him with a round of applause. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Chancellor, Administration, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, the Registrar, the Bursar, the Librarian, Deans for Graduate School, Deans of other faculties and Student Affairs, Directors and Head of Department, Professors and other District Mayors of Senate, Royal Fathers, other districts of university staff, special guests, family members, friends of other universities, great AAUA students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I'm deeply honored and greatly thrilled to stand before you today on this memorable occasion to deliver an inaugural lecture titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secret of Plant Secondary Metabolites. The 5th inaugural lecture in the Department of Chemical Sciences, the 14th in the Faculty of Science, and 57th in the Adebisi University inaugural lecture series. I give all glory to Almighty God, who has been my help from the time I knew nothing until this very moment. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I humbly confess before you and this distinguished audience that who I am today is not by my own making, but by the gracious will of God, the creator of heaven and the earth. I therefore dedicate this inaugural lecture to those whom God has used to shape me into whom I am today. As a young person, my dream was to become a medical professional, either a nurse or a medical laboratory scientist. However, circumstances, which later turned out to be for my good, altered that path. I gained admission into School of Nursing, but that was the same year the government stopped the monthly allowance paid to nursing students. That singular policy change made it impossible for me to proceed with that program. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, as God will have it, I secured employment with Ondo State Water Corporation as a laboratory assistant And that marked the true beginning of my journey as a chemist. The divine plan that has brought me before you this afternoon became clearer when I gained admission into Federal University of Technology, Akure, to study industrial chemistry. After my first degree, I pursued my dream to become a practicing industrial chemist and worked with some chemical industry in Lagos. While working at Eleganza Nigeria Limited as a quality control chemist, I once informed my director that I intended to visit Yaba during my break period. He sternly warned me that if I return even a second late, I will be issued a query. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, that statement changed the course of my life. Right there, I resolved to pursue a master's degree and seek a career in academia. That decision, once again, guided by God, has led me to this podium today. By the special grace of God, I got a job as the pioneer lecturer, that is assistant lecturer, in the Department of Chemistry after acquiring my second degree from the University of Ibadan at Nasarawa State University, Kefi, under the erudite Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebisi, who departed from this world on 12th of December 2025 at the age of 94. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the Bible records in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11 to 12, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is himself upon the earth, and it was so. Similarly, in the part of book of Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 12, it is written that the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for mercy. From the very beginning, God embedded within plant all that humanity needs for health, healing, and sustenance. Consequently, the importance of the plant kingdom to human existence cannot be overemphasized. Plant produces oxygen through photosynthesis, making life on earth possible and bearable. They serve as primary sources of food for humans and other organisms, support ecosystem by providing habitat and shelter and sustain biodiversity. In addition, plants possess immense medicinal value, as many life-saving drugs are derived from plant material. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in the 11th inaugural lecture series, Professor Olugbenga established that plants were created before man, asserting that their importance lies in the God recognition of their relevance to sustaining life, which is why God created plants first among other creations. Furthermore, Professor Olumeko proceeded in the 8th inaugural lecture delivered on December 2, 2014, that God has designed everything necessary for mankind's survival and embedded this compound in plant. According to him, every cure for every ailment, whether known and unknown, synthesized and natural, has been diligently stored by nature in the plant. He concluded that humanity's task is to discover this cure and learn from plant's inherent ability to coexist without self-destructing, noting that mankind is the only species that harms its own mankind. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, long before the advent of synthetic chemicals, plant derivatives were widely used for bioactivities, such as antibiotics, antiseptics, repellent, toxic, antifeedant, preservative, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial purposes, particularly in the tropics and other parts of the world. Scientific effort to characterize these properties in laboratory dated back to the early 1900s. The insecticidal property of several Cryptosporidium species were being known for centuries in Asia. Some of the early insecticides, such as nicotine, pyretrum, and rotenone, were all derived from plants. Likewise, early treatment for malaria originated from plant sources. Notable examples include quinine, extracted from the bark of cinchona tree, which has been used for centuries, and artemisinin, can be seen in figure 1, derived from Artemisia anna. Today, artemisinin-based combination therapy, ACTs, are recommended by the World Health Organization as the most effective treatment for uncomplicated materia. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the 23rd inaugural lecture delivered on Tuesday, 30th April 2024, by Professor Olochua, and entitled Biodiversity and Resilience, a shield against pests, emphasized that the effective crop and pest management is rooted in the phytochemical theory. This theory posits that plants produce a wide diversity of secondary metabolites with inherent pesticidal properties. In a similar way, the 23rd inaugural lecture delivered by Professor Akobi, titled Small but Mighty, to put down the menace of malaria parasite, submitted that the emergence of drug resistance by malaria parasite to potent and affordable drugs, the absence of a coordinated and sustainable vector control strategy, and the persistent challenge of developing an effective malaria vaccine, unlike what has been achieved for many other microorganisms, has left many developing countries with limited options for malaria control. Consequently, there has been a renewed reliance on traditional remedies, particularly medicinal plants, as prompt and effective alternative, alongside sustaining effort to exploit plant-based sources for new anti-malaria agents. Moreover, in the 54th inaugural lecture delivered on February 10, 2026 by Professor Olajubu, titled The Unwinnable War Against Antimicrobial Resistance, Nature to the Rescue, posited that the final solution to antimicrobial resistance lies in returning to nature, that is plant and plant part, as research evidence suggests that synthetic compounds are increasingly ineffective. Furthermore, several studies by Olonisakin 2005A, 2006A, 2006B, 2007, and Olonisakin et al. 2005B, 2006 focus on the characterization and potential application of essential oil, particularly the terpenes and terpenoids, in the biological control of insect pests. The studies evaluated the antimicrobial property of plant volatile oil and their constituent from diverse plant species. In addition, the efficacy of terpenoids in suppressing spotting and controlling of potato disease was investigated and successfully established. It is evident from these studies that plant secondary metabolites possess immense medicinal potential with wide range of application in food, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical industry. Plant metabolites. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, plant metabolites are organic compounds produced by plants through enzyme-driven reactions, categorized as primary and secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites are organic compounds found in non-living organisms, ranging from organisms to higher plants and animals. They include carbohydrates, which serve as a source of energy, nucleotide, the building block of DNA and RNA, essential for heredity and reproduction, and amino acids, which are building block of protein and vital for growth and repair of damaged cells. These compounds are indispensable for basic metabolic processes, are often produced in large quantity, and directly responsible for plant growth and development. On the other hand, secondary metabolites are compounds found in certain plants, but absent in others. For example, sugarcane is sweet, and bitter leaf is bitter, because alkaloid is present in bitter leaf and absent in sugarcane. They are not essential for plant growth, but are of immense value for human as a source of pharmaceutical and industrial products. A comparative illustration of primary and secondary metabolites is illustrated in Figure 2. Secondary metabolites function primarily as a defense compound and chemical messenger. They are produced through modified biosynthetic pathway derived from primary metabolites. See Figure 3. Examples include alkaloid, carotenoid, phenolic, tannin, flavonoid, glycoside, terpenoid, steroid, saponin, and coumarin, and so forth. The broad classifications of these plant secondary metabolites are illustrated in Figure 4. Moreover, some secondary metabolites are responsible for plant flavor, color, aroma, aiding in the attractions of insects for pollination and fertilization. Others enable plants to synthesize toxic substances that protect them against pathogen, disease, and herbivore. These secondary metabolites are divided into two, and they are non-volatile and non-volatile secondary metabolites. The structural representative of the volatile and non-volatile compound are presented in Figure 5 and Figure 6. The path to discovery. Mr. Chancellor, sir, no botanist can state with absolute certainty the total size of the plant kingdom. However, it is estimated that there are close to 300,000 cataloged plant species worldwide, with the intense experimentation that ancient humans undoubtedly carried out with plants, learning their uses was almost inevitable. Early men probably placed most plants into their mouth. Many of these plants were harmless. Some provided nourishment, while others caused illness or even death. However, a food plant relieved pain, discomfort, or disease, and few, through hallucinogenic effect, transported human beyond the ordinary realm of existence. Plants in this later category gradually became recognized as source of food, medicine. Over time, humans have learned about the use of plants through several pathways, which include traditional knowledge, scientific research, cultural exchange, accidental discovery, such as landmark discovery of penicillin in 1928 by the Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming, while studying staphylococcus infection at St. Mary Hospital in London. Fleming observed that a culture plate contaminated with the mud penicillium notatum inhibited bacterial growth, creating a clear hollow. This accidental observation led to the discovery of penicillin, the search for beneficial and safe plant-derived compound. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the chemical composition of plant metabolites is shaped by complex interplay of internal and external factors. These two factors will not allow final conclusion of a search for more beneficial and safe plant-derived compound. Internal factor. The genetic makeup of a plant species determines both the type and quantity of secondary metabolite produced. Genetic variation within a species can give rise to distinct chemotype. Additionally, the development stage of plant influences secondary metabolite composition. For instance, the concentrations of artemisinin, a potent antimalarial compound, increases in the leaves of Artemisia anna as the plant matures. Harvesting at the optimal developmental stage, therefore, enhances metabolite yield. External factors. Environmental conditions, such as climate, temperature, light intensity, water availability, and soil quality, significantly influence secondary metabolite production. For example, Aparicum perforatum produces high level of apracin on antidepressant compound when grown under high light conditions. Extraction of secondary metabolites from plant. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, one of the major challenges in natural product chemistry is the extraction of active compound from plant. Plants contain numerous classes of compound. Each comprises hundreds of individual constituents. The complexities of extraction depend largely on the target compound and the availability equipment. Extraction techniques are broadly classified into conventional and non-conventional methods. As can be seen in Figure 9, the techniques for the extraction. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, some of my modest contributions to the field of natural product chemistry are presented under the following subthemes: extraction, isolation, characterization, and bioactivities of both volatile and non-volatile secondary metabolites from selected plant species. These contributions also include studies of the efficacy of plant-derived metabolites against pests and pathogens, the formulations of these metabolites as insecticidal and spot-substratal agents, as well as the characterization and utilizations of oil from underutilized plant seed. Extraction, isolation, characterization, and bioactivity of secondary metabolites. Olonisakin, 2018, investigate the volatile and non-volatile composition and insecticidal activities of a petroleum adenoferum against diamond bark and amphis. Essential oil extracted from the area part of this plant by steam distillation was characterized using gas chromatography and gas chromatography mass spectrometry. The analysis revealed that alpha epicardinol, usime, bony acetate, and beta-phenandrine and 2-carene were the major terpenoid constituents. See table 1. The essential oil exhibited promising toxic activity and notable repellent activity against larvae of diamond brown within 24 hours. Among solvent fraction, the hexane fraction was more effective against diamond moth, while the methanol demonstrated high efficacy against the amphib. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, a pure compound, Olonisakin, was isolated as a colorless oil, Figo9. The complete assignment of proton and carbon-13 NMR spectra are presented in table 2. The carbon-13 NMR spectrum revealed a total of 19 carbon resonance, while the structural enhancement by polarization transfer spectral analysis confirmed the presence of 17 methylene carbon, 1 methane carbon, and 1 ethyl group. The observation of a downfield methane carbon at 114 and methane carbon at 139.3 is characteristics of terminal functionality. Based on the combination spectral evidence, the structure of the compound was unequivocally established as one Olonisakin. The compound has not been previously reported in the petroleum adenoferum, and we therefore report this occurrence in this plant species for the first time. Mr. Bach, in a related study, Olonisakin et al., 2019, investigated Ageratum oceanarium. The study focused on the chemical composition of its essential oil, the isolation and characterization of pure compound, and the evaluation of essential activities of the essential oil. Solvent fraction and isolated compound against the larvae of diamond moth and amphibs. The major constituents identified were precocin 2, precocin 1, and beta-caryophyllene. See figure 3, table 3. In addition, the fatty acid composition of the plant was determined by GCMS following the revitalization. Marisic, linoleic, and linoleic were the major fatty acid constituents. The compound precocin 1 and precocin 2, figure 11, were successfully isolated and structurally elucidated using mass spectrometry, proton NMR, and carbon-13 NMR techniques. The essential oil, hexane and methanol fraction, as well as the isolated compound, were evaluated for their insecticidal activity against diamond moth and amphibs. The results revealed that the essential oil of hexane fraction, ageritochrome, and 1-hexene exhibit higher toxic activity against diamond larvae in that order. The essential oil demonstrated notable repellence against diamond bark. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Another important study carried out by Olonisakin 2009 isolated the compound from the area part of Ageratina adenofera using a combination of solvent extraction and chromatography techniques. Structural elucidation of the isolated compound was carried out using mass spectrometry and comprehensive nuclear magnetic resonance analysis, which include proton NMR, carbon-13 NMR, the structural enhancement by polarization transfer, proton-proton homonuclear correlation spectroscopy, heteronucleus multiple quantum correlation, and heteronucleus multiple bond correlation. The combined spectroscopy data confirm the identity of the compound as hexane. The chemical structure of the compound is presented in figure 12, while the corresponding proton NMR and carbon-13 NMR data are summarized in table 12. This study was novel, and this compound, 1-hexane, was reported from this plant for the first time by me. Phytochemical and antimicrobial investigations of selected plants. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Our Natural Product Research Group in the Faculty of Science conducted extensive studies on Afromoma medullatus, that is alligator pepper. Olonisakin et al. 2012 established the terpenoid composition of Afromoma medullatus using adociation and solvent extraction. Major terpenoids included alpha-cardenol, calamine tenol, beta-panacinate, and alpha-moprolol, with solvent extraction yield high concentration. Olonisakin et al. 2020 quantified the vitamin content of this plant, including finding the seed richest in vitamin A, B, C, and D, and E, suggesting the plant's potential as a natural immune booster. Furthermore, studies Olonisakin et al. Assess the antioxidant and enzyme inhibitory potential of various plant parts of Afromoma medullata. Antioxidant capacity and enzymatic antioxidant were evaluated using standard methods. Results indicated that the seed extract had the highest antioxidant activity, while leaf and stem bark extract show superior enzymatic antioxidant activities. These findings support the pharmacology relevance of Afromoma medullata in preventing oxidative stress-related diseases such as cardiovascular disorder, cancer, and neurodegenerative conditions. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in response to COVID-19 pandemic, Omotuli Olonisakin et al. 2020 screened Afromoma medullatus secondary metabolite against the virus. The plant was screened against SARS-CoV-2, 5 phytocompound, leterstatin, 3-methylchromine-4-ol, quercetin, apigenin, and tetrocasin were identified as potential polypharmacology and anti-SARS candidates. Indeed, silica gel fractionated seed from Afromoma medullata has shown furin inhibitor both from kinetic study and in vitro processing of glycoprotein containing furin recognition sequence. Ajayi Olonisakin et al. Systematically evaluated anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, and secondary metabolite potential of this plant. The medicinal potential was determined using standard methods. The inhibitory effect is more pronounced towards alpha-glucoside than alpha-amylase, supporting the herbal usage and encourages the formulation of synthetic drugs with herbal supplement in the treatment of diabetic mellitus, essential oil, and terpenoid. Olonisakin et al. 2005A examined the constituent of essential oil isolated by hydrodistillation from the area part of Osmium survey-wide. Major components included sabinin, caryophyllene, beta-terpinin, alpha-pinene, and bigatamol, and limonene. The essential oil of Salopia ethiopica and Psyllium aromaticum were also analyzed. The oil yield were 1.2 and 7.4 respectively, with major constituents including beta-pinene, beta-phenadrine, gamma-terpinene, and alpha-pinene for Salopia ethiopica, and eugenol for Psyllium aromatica. Both oil exhibited antimicrobial activities against test organisms. Evaluation of dose formulation of essential oil for insecticidal and spot surfactant. Dose formulations of essential oil using carrier such as illumina, bentonite, and kaolin with between 20 as additive were studied. Kaolin-based formulation exhibit the slowest release, maintaining insecticidal efficacy over 15 days against Calosbrochus maculatus. Activity ranking of formulated oil was Psyllium aromaticum greater than Salopia ethiopica, greater than Piperguinus, greater than Osmium savi, with phosphocin showing similar trend. Essential oil were also effective in suppressing potato sprouting and disease development, with Homo savi showing the highest efficacy. Studies of underutilized plant oil. Underutilized plant oil are oils from plants that are not widely used or exploited for their oil, despite the potential nutritional medicinal, or industrial value, while plants provide food, medicine, and other resources for local community. Yet, their importance in subsistence agriculture is often underestimated. The fatty acid composition of 9 seed oil in a cocoa area of Odo State was determined using gas chromatography, Olonisakin 2014. Oil yield ranged from 1.6 to 51.43, with unsaturated fatty acid predominating. Essential fatty acids, including omega-6, omega-3, range between 29.17 and 52.75, highlighting their potential biological and industrial significance. Table 6 and 7 summarize the chemical composition, the degree of unsaturation, and fatty acid profile of this seed oil. Natural and versus synthetic compound. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, plant-derived compound often possess complex structure and stereochemistry, evolved to interact with specific biological targets. Their mechanism of action are frequently unique, offering novel scaffold for drug discovery. In contrast, synthetic compounds are deliberately designed to target specific pathway and can be optimized for potency, selectivity, and pharmacokinetics. Both natural and synthetic compounds have distinct advantage and limitation. Plant-derived compounds offer structural novelty and diverse biological activity, while synthetic compounds allow precise control over efficacy, safety, and pharmacological properties. In organic chemistry unit of the Department of Chemical Science, some synthetic compounds and their derivatives have been synthesized and tested against bacterial pathogens and mosquito larvae. For instance, Olonisakin et al. Exploit the antimicrobial potential of synthetic 1,2-dibenzahydrazine, DBH, can be seen in figure 13, and some of the derivatives against Staphylococcus aureus, including methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus strains, using integrated computational approaches. These findings show that DBH and its derivatives have promising activities against the organism. Furthermore, Olonisakin et al. 2014 investigated the larvicidal activities of 5 synthetic heterocyclic compounds, 3 diaryquinolin and 2 acebenzidamizole derivatives against an equally mosquito larvae. Additionally, the study evaluated the interaction of this compound with odorant binding protein, OBPs, from anomaly mosquito and Culex mosquito. In vitro biopsy demonstrated that 3 compounds, 1 phenylquinolin and 2 acebenzidamizoles, as can be found in figure 14, were particularly potent. Molecular docking and dynamic simulations further reveal that 2 of these compounds display strong and stable binding to OBPs in both mosquito species, indicating additional potential and olfaction inhibition. Challenges with isolating and characterizing plant secondary metabolites. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we have seen the immense values of plant secondary metabolites across health, agriculture, and industry. However, isolating and characterizing of these compounds presenting several challenges. Complexity of the plant extract, low yield, instability, structural diversity, lack of standard, optimizing extraction method, purification techniques, chromatography method, such as Coulomb chromatography and HPLC, can be time-consuming, costly, and solvent-intensive. Analytical techniques, methods like NMR, mass spec, and IR spectroscopy are essential for structural elucidation, but interpretation is complex, especially for novel compounds. Conclusion. In conclusion, secondary metabolites are nature-valuable compounds that has contributed significantly to human well-being, safety, and economic activities. These compounds have been a rich source of medicine, food, additives, and other valuable products. Their diverse biological activities and potential application make them an important area of research, offering new opportunity for improving human health and quality of life. The isolation and characterization of secondary metabolites from plants have led to the discovery of numerous bioactive compounds with potential application in medicine, agriculture, and other industries. Their compounds have shown promising results, making them attractive candidates for further research and development. As research in this area continues to evolve, we can expect to uncover more of nature's hidden treasure. Plant natural products have long been and will continue to be important source and model of spices, flavor, etc. However, since most plant species has never been described, much less survey for chemical or biologically active constituents, it is reasonable to expect that new sources of valuable materials remain to be discovered. Despite their potential, challenges remain, include complexity of the extraction, low yield, instability, structural diversity, and limitation in analytical techniques. Nevertheless, continued research in this field is likely to uncover new value natural products, sustaining their importance for human health and industrial application. Recommendation. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the plant kingdom is a crucial component of life on Earth. Its conservation is essential for ecosystem balance and human well-being. Based on this research, the following recommendations are proposed. 1. Sustainable governance principle. Government should adopt integrated management principles, including responsibility, scale matching, precaution, adaptive management, full cost allocation, and stakeholder participation. 2. Conservation club. Encourages conservation awareness from primary school to university and across local community. Botanical garden. Establish large-scale botanical garden in all Nigerian states to conserve and manage useful plants effectively. Biotechnology research unit. Create functional tissue culture and germplasm conservation laboratory in university and research institute. Documentation of folkloric knowledge. Ministry of Health and Forestry should organize regular interaction sessions between traditional practitioners and scientific researchers. Complementary herbal medicine. Approve the use of pure admissions of herbal extract with proven efficacy to complement orthodox medicine. Central Analytical Facility. Establish central laboratory or center of excellence for structural analysis of plant secondary metabolites and proper maintenance of advanced analytical equipment. Acknowledgement. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it may be practically impossible to mention the names of all those whom God has used as my destiny helper here, which is why I dedicate this inaugural lecture to them, and the names are listed in the booklet. Everyone here, online or elsewhere, is recognized. I thank you all. Blessed be the name of the Almighty, who steadfast love over me, and that which has to do with me never ceases. And by whose mercy and grace I started this journey. Blessed be his name for his protection and guidance over me while the journey lasted. To God be the glory. I appreciate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Olugbenga, and his wife, Chief Mrs. Elinke, for their support. Sir, I sincerely thank you for the trust you have in me. I've worked with you as Chairman, Technical Committee on Admission of this great university since the beginning of your tenure, and you gave me absolutely free hand to operate. and later you added another post as Director of General Studies. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I did not take you for granted, sir. I'm using this opportunity to thank two former vice chancellors of this university that I've worked with. Professor Femi Mimiko, whose time I came to this university from National State University, Kefi. He also gave me permission to go for the World Academics of Science Postdoctoral Fellowship when I newly came to the university, and Professor Ibekede Ajibefun, who processed my appointment to the positions of professor. God will bless them all. I acknowledge the encouragement and the support of the two DVCs, Professor Daramola, who mentored me as a sub-dean while in postgraduate school, Professor Akumi, who has been my spiritual and academic father, all the principal officers of the university, the registrar, Mr. Arajulu, the bursar, Mr. Uriana, the librarian, Dr. Mrs. Olonifemi. They make my experience in the university administration enjoyable. My profound appreciation goes to all members of Senate, Professor Shola Olonifemi as point of contact. I especially recognize and thank all the members of the inaugural lecture committee, ably chaired by Dr. Mr. Adeshina and her husband. I wish to especially appraise Professor Oladoja, Professor Akobi, Professor Igboni, Dr. Olonifemi for providing critical assessment and valuable opinion on this presentation. The valuable support by Mr. Aro Owamoyo, Mr. Bobola, Mr. Victor Akupelumi, Dr. Olaniyan, Mr. Akintuyo are highly appreciated. Members of staff of the IPPRU, ASITAC, Security and Works and Services are appreciated for their support. I sincerely thank past leadership of the faculties of science, the present dean in person of Professor Olotua, the distinguished professors, the head of department and unit are greatly appreciated. I wish to specifically appreciate all academic, technical, administrative, and other support staff members of the faculty. I owe all the members of the Department of Chemical Sciences a debt of gratitude. Professor Oladoja, a dependable friend. Professor Ololade, bold in his convictions. Professor Ashogbon, man of his own. Professor Olasheni, my aburo. Professor Olaremu, performing HOD. Dr. Adeshina, a reliable aburo. Dr. Bankode, Dr. Oyeneni, Mr. Olonifemi, Dr. Olonifemi, Dr. Mrs. Ololade, Mr. Ademoyegun, Mrs. Bolande Samuel. I appreciate all the technologies. Mr. Bamidele, Mrs. Olayinka, Mr. Olushuyi, Mrs. Uguleye, Mr. Umiye, Mrs. Adedeji, my students in the Department of the Chemical Sciences and Science Education, you are all recognized. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there are 3 people in the Department of Chemical Sciences who are supposed to be witness this occasion today, but they have gone to meet their maker. Late Professor Aboluoye, late Professor Ejelono, late Professor Dr. Adebayo, who was the acting HOD when I joined the services of the university in 2011. And this man monitored my application till I was employed without knowing me. May their soul rest in peace. I appreciate the following institution and agency: the World Academics of Science, Italy, for awarding me postgraduate fellowship, Council of Science and Research, New Delhi. I will forever be grateful to all my teachers, from primary to university, in all my lectures at the Department of Chemistry, Federal University of Technology, Akure. I remain grateful to late Professor K.O. Ikmurti, who mentored and accommodated me throughout my first degree. May his soul rest in peace. Professor I.A. Amo as point of contact to other lecturers in the department. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I was also lucky to tap from the rich chemistry experience of Professor Oladimeji Emo and Emeritus Professor Lakidera Gumi, who were my PhD supervisor. I will ever remain grateful to you, sir. Also, let me specially thank my MSc supervisor at University of Ibadan, Professor Adesomoju AA. He is a father indeed. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to my parent, late Chief Fashusi Olonisakin, the Ashaya of Ashaya, who reigned between 1966 and 92. I'm proud to have been brought into this world by this man. He was an honest man with high integrity, orator, and peacemaker. May his soul rest in peace. My mother, Madam Idowu Maria Olonisakin ni Ogudana, you are a mother indeed, a mother by excellence, a submissive wife, gentle, hardworking, full of endurance. My mommy, you have seen the glory of your son, Adebisi, today. You have lived a fulfilled life. To my immediate constituency, I can't thank you all. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I must say this. When we are growing up, we only knew someone as Ogami, Antimi, Abromi, Babami, and Momomi. It wasn't until we got to school that we became aware of uncle, cousin, nephew, etc. My father, that led my consistency to this memorial garden, is his royal father, His Highness Oba Ajayi Matthew Ededogun. Apitongbade Kini, the Ashaya of Ishaya, his Oloris, and all the chiefs from Ishaya in the Kumisewa. Thank you, Kabiyesi. Kade Ope Lori, Kibato Ope Lese, Kirukere Odokini, Lórúkọ Jésù. Ẹ̀yin bàbá mi àti ìyá mi olóyè ní Ìṣàyà. Ẹ ṣé gan ni, mo mọ̀ lóore. I also thank all that Kabiyesi present here, particularly Oba Elokota of Kota Ekiti, Oba Fagbemi, for what God has used you for in my life. Alahan of Ahon Ekiti, thank you very much, Baba. Oba Owateju of Iro Ekiti, you are highly appreciated, sir. I appreciate all my family members, Auntie Mia Inokomolafe and Omoboja Salami, as points of contact to all my aunties. Also, Ogami Emos Adola and Omotele Gbenga as points of contact for all my brothers. For my abros, Monisola Agbeni and Pius Olonisakin as points of contact. All my wives in Ibia Sadu, I recognize you. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, how I wish two of my brothers were here. Late Mr. Jacob Ayodele Olonishakin and late Mr. Omotela Michael Adeshola. These two people were angels that God used for my educational career. Mr. Olonishakin J sponsored my first degree, and Mr. Omotela MA took me to Akure after my secondary school. May their soul rest in peace. With deep appreciation, I acknowledge the support of my in-law, late Chief Rotimi Alabi, and my mother-in-law, late Mrs. Dorcas Aladejoke Alabi, a.k.a. Mama Aladalu, a woman of virtue, hardworking, bold, with open-minded. I hereby Mrs. Alabi Abraham Sunday as points of contact to all my loving in-laws. Also, I would like to appreciate my wife's friend, Alaja Famobio, as point of contact. From the time of my wood, I have been blessed with wonderful friends that have helped to prepare my growth. Mr. Ogudana Alfred Ayodele and Professor Albert Adebayo as point of contact to all my friends. All are listed in the booklet. With special thanks, I acknowledge and appreciate the spiritual blessing of my spiritual father, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor E.A. Adoboye, as point of contact to all the pastors in Redeemed Christian Church of God worldwide. I also thank members of throne of glory, and royal assembly soul. My appreciation also goes to my family friends, Mr. and Mrs. Olachuji, and Mr. and Mrs. Akisuru Ayo, as points of contact. And I appreciate all my neighbors in Alafia Street, Arikidi, Akure, Akoko, for your kindness. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I've spoken much about secondary metabolites. From the research, plants can live or survive with absence of secondary metabolites. But with absence of primary metabolites, plants cannot succeed, survive, or live. I'm delighted to introduce to you my primary metabolites. That is my wife, that gives me what it takes to succeed, to survive, and to enjoy life. In person of Mrs. Mercy Bosede, Olonisakin, Alabi. She stood behind me and beside me like the rock of Gibraltar. May God bless you. My lovely and adorable children, Deborah, Victor, and my favor, whose friendship and love have made my house a home. I love and adore you. Finally, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there are lessons to be learned from plant secondary metabolites. Plants have arrays of simple and complex compounds or structures that coexist in harmony. Alkaloids are bitter, while glycosides, like salicin, are sweet. But they live together in harmony. Let us live together in harmony, which is the will of God for us. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14 says, follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man can see Lord. It is possible in plants. Let us make it possible in man, which is the will of God for us. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, just listen to the 57th inaugural lecture at their university titled Nature's Pharmacy, Unlocking the Secrets of Plant Secondary Metabolites. It was just delivered by Professor Adebisi Olonisakin, Professor of Organic Chemistry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can I have a round of applause for Professor Olonisakin. Without taking much of your time, let me invite to the microphone again the Vice Chancellor, the chairman of this occasion, for his closing remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, and thank you very much. That is the new president of the Student Union. He has just been elected and was sworn in yesterday as the president of the Student Union of Adebisi University. Thank you, Presido. Ebola for your enemy too. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to the 57th inaugural lecture, well delivered by Professor Olonisakin. When you see a professor, you recognize it. When you see a researcher, you also recognize it. Professor Olonisakin combined together. All the inaugural lectures between 2014 to date, 2026. That is a lot, and I commend you for that. We are very proud of all the professors in this university because, yes, all of them are masters in their own fields. This is the 57th of such. The 58th will soon be here, and so on and so forth. I will always invite you to come and join us in celebrating professors of Adebisi University. Let me use this opportunity to thank all our traditional rulers who are here. His Royal Majesty Oba Ajayi GSO, the Owateju of Iro Ayeteju Idekiti. Adebisi, thank you, sir. Adepelorio. His Royal Majesty Oba Iman Fagbemi, the Elekota of Kota Ekiti, is also here. Thank you, Adebisi. His Royal Majesty Oba Matthew Ajayi Elojogun, the Asaya of Isaya Ekiti. Adebisi, thank you very much. His Royal Majesty Oba Matthew D. Jegede, the Alaha of Aha Ayegule. Thank you, Adebisi. His Royal Highness Olori Olobumi V.O. Queen Olori Asaya. Thank you, Olori. High Chief A.A. Aladesheye, representative of Olowo of Owo, Ekiti. Thank you. All high chiefs, particularly all high chiefs from Isaya Ekiti, all high chiefs from Isaya Ekiti, all Ishaya, all right, Ishaya Ekiti. Thank you very much for coming. All the Yalojas, all religious leaders, we thank all of you for making this occasion. We have professors from other universities who are here. Professor David Olanrewaju from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We have Professor Olajide, also from FUTA. Thank you. We have Professor Amo, also from FUTA, here too. Professor E.A. Okoronko, who is also from FUTA. Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Professor W.B. Tomori is also here with us. Thank you, Prof. Professor Ibitoye Olusegun is also here. And we have one of our own, professor of this university and a vice chancellor of a university in this country, Professor F.A. Gore, vice chancellor, St. Mary's University. Let me family of the inaugural lecturer. Let me start particularly from the primary metabolites. Mrs. Mercy Olonisakin, thank you so much. Yes. I'm always happy when I hear my colleagues describing their wives in different names. We have had several names, and yours is also very unique. Primary metabolites. Thank you very much. Deborah, or Deborah, when I call my daughter's friend, when I call her Deborah, my daughter will tell me, Daddy, it's not Deborah, it's Deborah. Deborah Olonisakin, thank you for coming and for being a good friend to Daddy. Victor is not here, Olonisakin, and Favor Olonisakin, thank you all for being a good friend to Daddy. Thank you. We have the daughter, we have the father-in-law here, Dr. and Mrs. Sunday Alabi, father-in-law to Professor Olonisakin. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. I'm proud of you. Mrs. Rachel Ogunleye and Mrs. Gloria Daramola, who are also the inaugural lecturer's mother. Thank you. Eshe. Ekudide. Chief Olugbenga, brother to Professor Olonisakin. Praise the Lord. I was expecting him to add Ige. Because my own name is Olugbenga Ige. So you are welcome, sir. Mrs. Olonisakin, wife to senior brother, is also here. Yes, thank you, Eshe. Mrs. Odnuayo, junior sister to Professor Olonisakin. Thank you very much. Ojo Yemisi, cousin. Thank you. And Mrs. Olonisakin, Mama Wa, who is also the wife to the father. Mama, hallelujah. Thank you very much. We also appreciate all family friends who came all the way from Ekiti State to grace this occasion. We pray that God, in His infinite mercies, will see you back to your various destinations very safely. Let me appreciate deans of faculty. Before I finally round up, let me announce that the 58th inaugural lecture comes up April 17? April 2026. Going to be delivered by Professor Dominic Olabode Odedeyi. Thank you. Yeah, the next inaugural lecturer. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Sorry, sir.
I've come to the end of this program, 57th inaugural lecture of Adebisi University. And once again, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of our great university, thank you all for making this program part of your day. And on that note, shall we all rise as we take the AAUA anthem and the national anthem.